Hey, why do basketball players love donuts so much?
Why?
They're great for dunking.
First and foremost. You know the name.
All right, everybody, welcome to First and Four, the podcast where our father is firstborn, break down America's four biggest sports: football, basketball, baseball, and hockey. Let's go right into it with our film room segment. I think pretty obviously we're going to get right back into March Madness, just like with where we were last week. So let's just go right back into there, spend a lot of time there,
Yeah.
and then we'll kind of hit the rest of the stuff. But yeah, I think it'll be fun to kind of spend some more time, talk about where our brackets are at, how things are looking. And then kind of highlight the Sweet 16 as well. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like you could start just about anywhere.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's just so much to talk about.
Feels like days ago that all this stuff happened. I feel like that's where like the first couple rounds happen. And then you've got the weekend also with the next set of games. And it's like, what happened last Thursday? Wisconsin lost a high point and
Yeah.
might have been the low point of their season, I guess, for
Yeah, I guess so.
Wisconsin, right? But yeah, it was that was probably one of the biggest upsets, I guess. I don't know if there were any other 12. Was that the only 12 seed that ended up winning?
Oh gosh.
I think that
Let's
that
look.
was
I think so, right?
the only 12 seed that ended up winning, and then there were a few 11 seeds. Yeah, that was the only 12 seed that ended up winning, which I think I had said last week. Like usually it's one on percentage basis, it's one, possibly two that'll get there. That was the one. And
Yep.
it's funny because a few weeks ago, I think I said, watch out for High Point.
Yeah.
I was assuming Purdue was going to get a 5 seed at that time with how bad they were playing. I'm like, they're going to get a 5 seed. High Point's going to be the 12. They're going to come in and beat them. And it happened to just be Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Fun game, though. I don't know. Did you end up seeing the end of that game?
Yeah, watching back. I don't think I saw it live.
Our boy Chase Johnston, who we were talking about.
That's right.
First two of the season.
The entire season to win the game. Breakaway, that was crazy.
That was crazy. So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about March Madness, like not as much madness over the weekend as far as like big upsets, but that was kind of
really exciting games. And
Yeah.
people are talking about how there wasn't enough upsets for them, but like it wasn't like last year where it was just kind of uncompetitive for a lot of those teams. I think it was a lot worse last year. But like this year, you had Siena was pretty competitive. They were up 13 on Duke at one point.
Yeah.
Just looking at, I mean, like even Cal Baptist was close to Kansas for a while. Furman and UConn, which I was pretty excited about. They didn't pull off the win, but I had picked them in my bracket to upset them, and I was watching that game pretty excited late that one night. I was like, man, maybe I'm going to get this one.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was a close one.
Yeah.
And I think the Duke and Siena, like you mentioned, the Siena being up, that was the closest 13 to 16 seed in the tournament. That was the closest matchup as far as points. So 6 points is what Duke ended up winning by. That was the closest win margin for seeds. I guess the other seeds on the other side, but for the seeds 13 through 16, Siena had the lowest point differential for those seeds. So that was pretty exciting. It was kind of like, man, is this really going to happen? Is Siena going to pull this out? Jerry McNamara, we talked about the week before. That would have been pretty awesome if they would have pulled that one out.
If they would have had another sub to throw in there, maybe. That's pretty crazy.
But I kind of agree with you where, like, there weren't as many upsets. There were a lot of really good games.
There was just great. Like I said, people are going to talk about NIL ruining Cinderella stories. I think that teams were close this year. I really don't think it's as bad as people are going to make it out to be. I mean, we do have Texas in the Sweet 16, and like that is an 11 seed, despite the fact that it is Texas. It's an SEC school, but like they almost weren't in the tournament.
See, I think that, and I had said this a week before, that there were probably not going to be as many upsets. We talked about how top heavy the brackets are going to be. There were probably at least 10 teams that could win the whole thing. And I think when we get into some of these matchups coming up here in the Sweet 16, like there are quite a few teams that like you could see going on and winning the whole tournament. So I do think that the NIL and the transfer portal and all this stuff is kind of pushing more of these underdog teams that maybe get into the tournament and have an upset. Coaches transition, the players go with them. There may be not as many upsets that are going to happen, but I still think that's okay. Like it's great basketball that we're seeing. And we're going to see some great basketball this weekend with the matchups that we've got. And I think even though, there's not as many like 12, 13, 15 seeds that won or even advanced into the Sweet 16, other than Texas being 11 seed, there aren't any others outside of the top 6. So we're going to have some really good basketball here down the stretch.
We are, yeah. And you actually just kind of mentioned, I was looking, like, outside of, I think, Texas and then maybe Tennessee, I don't think there's a single other one of these teams where it's not like I couldn't visualize them winning the national championship.
Iowa.
I forgot Iowa. And honestly, I don't think Nebraska can do it either.
So, but those are 6, 9, and 11 seeds, right? So there's 3 of them in there. But outside of those guys, I mean, the others are all 1 through 4.
Yeah, and and they're all like, well,
St. John's.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like almost anybody that's still in it can win. And I think that's where, yes, it's a little top heavy, but it just feels like there are so many more teams that have the capability. Yeah. So I think it's exciting. I think there's a ton of great games. Patino with St. John's, he's 12-1 in the Sweet 16, so that's something to watch for. Yeah. Arizona's lost their last 4 Sweet 16 matchups. Haven't been able to kind of get past there, so we'll see this weekend. Just lots of great things to watch out for. Yeah,
Tommy Lloyd, he's got to figure that one out. It'll be interesting. I mean, I guess we'll get into the brackets here in a second, but it will be interesting if Texas does beat Purdue, and Tommy Lloyd has to go up against the former coach from Arizona, Sean Miller. Yeah, Miller.
Yeah,
who was there before. Right? Yeah, it could play out that they could meet up.
Yeah, it'd be interesting
in the regional final. But the other note, I guess one other thing I wanted to say about just those first matchups, and I guess it was in the second round, but Avila from St. Louis, last time we'll get to see him.
Yeah.
In the tournament, but love that guy. Love seeing him play. I was trying to pull up the nicknames. I don't know if you saw his nicknames that he's had.
He's had a few, yeah.
Cream
Abdul-Jabbar, White Chamberlain,
yeah. I do like all those. We're gonna miss out. Marshmallow Anthony is one I saw the other day. Nice. That was a new one for me. Dominique Milkins. What are some other ones? Spud White. That's kind of fun. Milk Chamberlain. So gonna miss that guy.
Yeah,
he did not have a great first half against Michigan. He turned it on, I think, a little more in the second half. But Michigan pretty much controlled that game.
Away, yep.
And then Mara, did you see when Mara faked him out, put the ball over his head? Mara was posted up on him and actually put the ball over his head.
Oh, really?
And Avila turned around and was looking, trying to find the ball and didn't even see where it was. Anyways, that was kind of a fun moment of the tourney.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are any others. I guess what else stood out to you the first couple rounds? Are there any other?
Yeah, so I think we've kind of talked a little bit about how it always, looking back and maybe looking ahead to brackets next year, it always seems like there's one of those playing teams that advances.
Yeah.
So Texas was that team this year. They played in the first 4 against
NC State.
Oh my gosh, NC State. Yeah, it
close game
forever ago. Yeah, very close game. Came down to the wire. It was a fun game those last couple minutes. Charles Barkley and
Dick Vitale
on the call. That was awesome. But no, so it always seems like there's one of those teams advancing. So I actually was kind of looking into it. So the play-in was instituted in 2011. So it's those bottom 4 of those automatic qualifiers, the 16s, and then the bottom 4 of the automatic bids. So Texas found themselves in there. 2011 is the first year that happened, going from 64 teams to 68. So in that first year, number 11 VCU, which we mentioned last week a little bit, the first year of that format, they went to the Final Four after winning one of those first 4 games. 11 seed UCLA did the same thing in 2021 with Mick Cronin, who's still there, beating number 1 Michigan in the Elite 8. But in total, 6 of those playing teams have advanced to the Sweet 16 since it was created in 2011.
That's interesting.
So that's
15 years.
Yeah, that's one every couple of years, you're thinking. So that might be a fun thing to kind of pick next year. I wouldn't have even expected Texas, to be honest with you. Watching them towards the end of the season in the SEC tournament, I really wasn't impressed with them.
No.
But I guess maybe it's something about just having an extra game and getting the nerves out of the way, getting adjusted. It's something about that seems to be working for those teams.
Yeah, it's always that question of rest versus rust, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the other teams maybe have a few more days off. The only thing I would think would travel, like they've got to go to Dayton and then they have to travel somewhere else. So you'd think that would hurt them, but you're right. Like if that's 6 out of these
6 out of
15,
15
years that you've had somebody advancing, that's pretty incredible.
Yep.
Yeah, so we should have.
Yeah, maybe think about that for the next year. I guess just looking at brackets, but
I think I probably would have picked VCU potentially advancing out.
well, yeah, I would have too.
Yeah, but
I don't know, like I said last week, it just seemed like they were hot. It seemed like they had a pretty easy matchup.
yeah,
With UNC, who is another team I guess we can kind of talk about. Largest second half comeback in tournament history, which is pretty crazy. Second largest comeback overall, only to Duke coming back from down 22 over Maryland in the 2001 Final Four. Pretty crazy. They were down 19, and so now Hubert
Davis.
Yeah, Hubert Davis is out. I don't know. I like playing on his name. Okay, yeah. Hubert Davis is out there.
Yeah.
And I know that might be something you want to come back to later.
No,
you had written down, but
yeah,
it's
a big opening.
It is a huge opening.
Yeah,
I don't think it's quite the same as people were looking at it after Roy Williams retired in 2021, but it's still like it's one of those blue blood established schools.
Yeah, I've heard Tommy Lloyd's name thrown around. Oh, it's always Billy Donovan, Brad.
Well,
Stevens,
yeah.
Tommy Lloyd now, like Arizona, and it's kind of like Tommy Lloyd like has a great job at Arizona.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what his connection is to Carolina, like if he has a connection there or not. But like, why would he want to leave Arizona go to Carolina?
I don't really know. I guess now with NIL, I guess you're looking at who has more money, and I really don't know, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
and I imagine being a coach from Arizona, like he's going to draw most of his players to North Carolina if he were to leave. So I think that would be another advantage. I wanted to mention Billy Donovan actually a little bit because I think as Bulls fans, I honestly think I would love that because I'd kind of like for him to be gone. So that's something to watch. He hasn't coached college since 2015 when he took Florida to 2 Final Fours. So like, and you want a couple? Did he win any championships?
Billy Donovan?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Right?
It was 4 Final Fours. I don't know why I wrote 2.
Yeah, they went back to back.
Yeah, back to back. So they won 2 championships, went to 4 Final Fours.
Yeah.
Wrote that down wrong. But yeah, so that could be interesting to watch.
That would be. What about Hoiberg? What if the Bulls go snatch him back
up? That would be weird too. He signed a 1-year extension with Nebraska, which is
just
also weird. Yeah. Kind of odd. Weird. I don't know what the plan is there. If they're like negotiating a longer term thing and it like hadn't materialized. Yeah, 1 year.
That's a weird extension.
It's really weird. I saw that and it really hasn't been talked about a whole lot, but I don't really know what's going on there. Maybe he really is waiting for something else, trying to get back into the NBA. I really don't know. But
that could be, yeah.
Yeah, maybe he sees something. I'm really not sure. It scares me a little bit, honestly.
I would think the buyout's probably pretty low then for some of these other schools or the NBA to go snatch them up.
Right. So yeah, that would be interesting. We're back to the Bulls.
Hilarious.
Ryan Sorfstein. Oh, look at this guy.
Yeah.
Up and comer Fred Hoiberg there. But yeah, I guess that would be interesting. And the Bulls will be out of the playoff mix this year, it seems like. So that could be interesting. He'll be done a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Could have the potential. And obviously they're on kind of that downward where they're not going to fire him.
Yeah.
That's just not how the Bulls operate, it doesn't seem like. But maybe he leaves.
Yeah, that could be. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And also with the does Carolina, they've got time, I would say. It's not like they have to make a decision anytime soon. Wait for the tournament to play out and kind of see what happens here. The coaching carousel, I guess, is going to start up, right? So,
right.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. You had a little bit about that coaching carousel, right?
Yeah. The funny thing was Bill Self, after they lost on, was it Sunday that they lost to St. John's?
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't know what he said at the press conference that made people think that I think it was just, hey, I've got to decide what I'm going to do here. And then there was a report that he was retiring Tuesday this week, Monday or Tuesday. And then they came back out today on Wednesday that he said he's not retiring.
Yeah.
So I guess he's back. with Kansas?
I think he's back.
I don't.
That's what it seems like today. I don't
he
know.
He was gone. Now he's back.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like, okay, maybe Kansas and Carolina are going to have openings.
Crazy.
McDermott at Creighton also retired, so he's stepping down. So there's going to be a few openings, big ones. I mean, I guess if Kansas it does open up, that's going to be huge. If he stays, then obviously,
and obviously North Carolina already.
Yeah,
and I think Creighton even isn't getting quite enough attention. Where that's a school that in the past I think has been pretty competitive, and they're in a pretty wide open Big East.
Now with the Big East, I would agree.
So I think I'll be interested to see who they hire. Because I just think outside of UConn and St. John's, things are just so wide open.
Yeah.
And depending on who they get, that might be an exciting team next year.
I think they're probably a year off. If McDermott would have retired last year,
that would have helped them. Yeah.
They could have got Ben McCollum potentially. Now I know McCollum's an Iowa guy, from the state of Iowa, and so the Iowa position opened up. Obviously, he went there from Drake. But if I don't know, I think Creighton's
more appealing.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, they're all in on their basketball there. Iowa obviously got the football to compete with, and then their women's basketball is very big too. But I think he would have been a pretty intriguing candidate for the Creighton position. So I guess I see somebody for Creighton that could be one of these like mid-major, or somebody that's just winning at a lower level. Maybe McCollum was a D2 guy. He won 4 national titles at Northwest Missouri State before he went up to Iowa. And it was kind of like, well, how did nobody find this guy? And then he ends up at Iowa. He just wins. I mean, that's what that guy does.
I think I heard something like he's got an 80% winning percentage over his career. It's like, that's ridiculous.
That's crazy. Great coach. So a guy like McCollum, does Creighton find somebody like that at one of these either D2, D3s that is just a winner? That'd be kind of fun to see what they, especially if Nebraska basketball's.
Yeah, that'll be a fun rivalry. Yeah. It seems like they're never both good at the same time, so that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Well, and I just think if they do get one of these mid-major or D2, one of these guys, like, again, with the transfer portal, he's going to bring his guys with him.
Yes.
And I think that's huge for Creighton, who kind of needs to reload.
So that's what was Sturtz. So he was not really highly recruited in high school. Ended up at D2, again, the school with it was Northwest Missouri State with McCollum. Followed him to Drake, and then followed him to Iowa, and that's what these guys do now. And Sturtz is one of the best players in the country right now, playing like it in the tournament. So you're right, with the portal and the way things work now, they can bring some of these players along. I haven't heard any names thrown out for the Creighton position yet.
I really haven't either. Again, I think people aren't really talking about it, but I think it's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. So be some interesting openings here. And then if Pope was the other one I talked about, like if they don't make it out, what happens there down in Kentucky?
Seems like he's fine.
He's fine, I think, maybe for another year.
But he's on the hot seat.
He's on the hot seat for sure
into next year. Like he's got to change some things around there.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing is like BYU. Was he better off staying there? And
I think he will. And well, I mean, like now it seems like Cal has definitely seems like he's won that. He's winning at Arkansas again. Kind of wins wherever he goes. And it just seems like he's having a little bit more fun.
Agreed.
And back in the Sweet 16 again. So
So I don't know if you're ready to jump into like what the next round of the bracket looks like.
Yeah, sure.
What the if you
there. We can run through there. I have the bracket open too.
So I was just thinking like going region by region again. And I don't have to pick all the games, but just kind of looking at like that East region now. We talked about all the blue bloods in there, the coaches. There's going to be some fun matchups in the East. You've got Shire and Patino squaring off. You got Izzo versus Hurley, which
awesome.
Hurley and Mick Cronin. Great matchup there between the coaches the other day. But now, with Izzo on the other side of Hurley, that'll be really fun to see those two going at it. See if one of them gets teed up. Hopefully it's Hurley this time.
I agree.
But I don't know if you knew this. Did you know Duke, every national title they've won? So it's 5, right? They've won 5 titles. every tournament that they've won a title, they beat St. John's on their way to win the title.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah. Here we are, Duke
That
St.
is something,
John's. If
yeah.
they win this matchup, like there's another one where
Mhm.
if they go win the whole thing, they had to go through St. John's to win it. So that'll be kind
Right.
of interesting to see that. Yeah, those games will be Friday night. Yeah, 6:10 and then
Yep.
8:45.
Yeah,
So
both on CBS.
yeah, so those are some heavyweights.
Yeah,
there.
those are definitely, again, we talk about the coaches, all four of those guys, just
Yeah.
Yeah, so those will be great. And, again, like we said, we can keep saying it, but I do think the quality of these games is just, it's awesome. Yeah, and you're right, this website's terrible. I can't see everything on one screen.
So coach heavy bracket up in the East, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And then down to the South.
Corn heavy region.
Yes, exactly. I'm excited. I don't think anybody would have thought Iowa and Nebraska would meet again for a rivalry game in Houston.
No.
But that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, are the folks in Houston ready for all the Busch Light going to be consumed with
I don't think so.
fan base coming down?
Well,
there?
and even I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how those fan bases travel. I think those are two fan bases that'll travel pretty well.
Oh yeah.
And even Houston, technically being a home game and these being in the same block of games, it'll be like that same session of buying tickets. I'm guessing.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see what the crowd is like.
Yeah. No, I mean that Nebraska-Iowa game is going to be intense.
Yeah.
They obviously are rivals. They split the series this season. Last game of the season went to overtime, right? Nebraska pulled that one out. They were ahead most of the game. Went to overtime. They won. Yeah, it's going to be intense.
It is. Yeah.
I think it is pretty exciting though to see those two match up.
It is. Yeah. It's different. It's two teams who, like Iowa, I don't think has been to the Sweet 16 since 2000 or something. Well, it's been over 20 years. I don't know what exactly the year.
Yeah.
I don't have that pulled up, but
before McCaffrey.
And then before McCaffrey, and then Nebraska obviously never.
Yep.
Yeah,
they got their first two wins.
Yeah,
exactly. Pretty excited about that.
Yeah, no, it's great. Honestly, I didn't think they were going to beat Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
So to see them go another round is great, and to not have to run into Florida feels pretty good too. Again, Iowa's a team, or at least they've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't have all the confidence in the world. I think Iowa is a pretty good team, and I think this will be a very Big Ten game, very physical.
Very physical. Yeah, I would agree.
Hammer the under. I saw somebody say they should start this game with a punt.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, exactly. Ceremonial punt before this one.
Exactly. I thought that was funny. So that's an exciting game. Thursday, 6:30. So yeah.
Yep.
Definitely excited for that one.
I agree. And then I would say even on the other side of that with Houston and Illinois.
Awesome game.
Yeah. Those two teams, offensive Illinois and the defense of Houston, we're going to see which one of those, is offense going to win that one or is defense going to win it? Illinois rebounds really well too. They're, I think, one of the top offensive rebounding teams in the country. We talked about that too. So I know Houston's really good on defense, but even if Illinois is not hitting, but they can get offensive rebounds and get second and third chances, that's going to be tough for Houston. And like you said, there's going to be a lot of Illinois fans that travel down for that.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people here that are pretty excited for it. I know people that live down in Texas that are going to the game too, that are Illini fans. So it's going to be, and I think even the Nebraska and Iowa fans who show up for that session are probably going to be rooting for Illinois. I mean, I would imagine. I think, the Big Ten tends to kind of root for their conference.
The Big Ten,
and so as long as it's not another rival of them, I think they'll probably rather see a familiar foe in the Elite Eight. I could see those Nebraska and Iowa fans getting excited for Illinois and really pushing for them. So Houston, I mean, like you said, they're at home basically in the region, but I don't know if it's going to be much of a home.
I don't either. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. People are talking about this whole home game in Houston, but I don't think it's going to be that crazy, especially with Houston being a team who's been here before. They do it a lot. They've been good the last few years. It's not new like it is for Iowa and Nebraska. Yeah. And even, to a lesser extent, Illinois. But yeah,
I would agree. So there's some great matchups down there. That'll be a fun one.
Actually, did you see they broke the decibel record in the
What a
Oklahoma
great
City?
Yeah.
Ridiculous. The finals were there last year. Game 7 was in that arena last year, and Nebraska.
What an incredible ending to that
insane.
game. I mean, that shot So close.
So
For
close.
Vandy.
And that's something we're going to come back to a little bit later for our next
Yeah.
segment. But yeah, like I said, I really didn't think Nebraska was going to win that game. They got up, about 10 and like were comfortable for a while. And then kind of let Vandy sneak back in. They went cold for a little bit, didn't rebound super well for a stretch. And that hurt them. And then, yeah, like I saw that shot go up and I thought for sure it was in. Like it was crazy.
It was online, but
Yeah.
man, that was tough. So
Definitely.
great matchup and great game. I mean, like you said, there's not a lot of like these Cinderella upsets, but there's been some really good close.
And I think Iowa Nebraska is a fun game too.
It'll be really fun.
Nobody was expecting Iowa to be there. I get okay, they're not a double-digit seed; they're a 9 and not a 10. Like nobody was expecting them to be there. So
no,
I think it's exciting.
Well, I had said last week I thought that that was the bracket where maybe the upsets would come from.
Right. Exactly.
But I said it was maybe the middle of the bracket that I thought the upsets would come from and kind of get it shook up. It happened to be Iowa on the outside that ended up getting through. So that was kind of interesting too.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, then what's this top right? The West.
The West.
Yeah, so again, we talked about Texas coming out already. I guess I don't know, how do you feel about them playing Purdue?
I feel pretty good. I mean, again, like I had said before, I thought Purdue had one of the easier sides as a 2 seed getting through.
Yeah.
They've got an 11 seed now coming in. Again, Texas is hot. They're obviously they advanced to the Sweet 16. They have to be. But Cam Heide, who was a Boilermaker last year, transferred to Texas. Be good to see him on the other side now. Yeah. Hopefully we can end his season there. But I mean, I think Purdue is a 7.5 point favorite right now. Last I saw.
Yep.
So they're pretty heavily favored. Again, doesn't really mean anything until they roll the ball out and play the game. But I like the matchup that they've got there with Texas. So I'm pretty excited for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then up in that other game, Arizona's actually also minus 7.5 right now over Arkansas.
Yeah.
I don't know. I expect that to be a close game, honestly.
I do too. That seems like
a lot of points. I like Arkansas there.
Yeah. Acuff has been playing great.
Awesome. Yeah.
Arizona still looks really complete, though. I mean, I
agree. Yeah.
I said it before. I thought they were one of the most complete teams, and
I think so.
I think they come out of that. I think they beat Arkansas, but
I think it'll be tough for sure.
I think it's going to be close. Yeah, 7.5 seems like a lot of points.
Yeah, and I just talked about, like, I feel like Calipari just has the experience, knows what he's doing. And, like I said, I think there is something to the fact that it is Arkansas. It's not as much of a blue blood. Like, there's just not as much pressure, I don't feel like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, really exciting. Like you said, Acuff's just been stepping up in big moments. So that'll be a really fun game.
Yep. Forward to that.
Yeah. All right, in the Midwest. Yep.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know. I don't feel like I have as many thoughts about this one. I just haven't gotten to watch quite as much Tennessee or Iowa State actually on their way to this game.
Yeah.
So Iowa State's minus 3.5 right now. That's a late game on
it's on Friday.
Friday. Yeah. So honestly, I don't know. Like, I think that's going to be another really great, really close game.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be. I mean, I do think Michigan has a pretty good shot at getting to the Final Four pretty easily. I mean, Bama's one where, we talked about, oh gosh, what's his name that got suspended for the drug for Alabama?
Gosh, yeah, we already forgot his
name. We already forgot his name. It doesn't matter. But so he's gone, and they end up making it here to the Sweet 16. I don't know if he's coming back.
I don't think so.
Can he?
I guess I don't know.
He didn't travel with them last week.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't think he was back, but I don't know.
I'm assuming he's not playing. But they're one of those teams where they get hot, they could be trouble. I don't think they get hot against Michigan. I think Michigan's so long defensively. I think they're gonna get hands and face, shooting threes. I think Bama's going to have a hard time, and I see Michigan handling that one pretty easily. On the other side, Iowa State, Tennessee. Yeah, I mean, Iowa State had an injury too, and
right, and that was pretty significant.
Yeah. So that one could be a pretty good matchup. I don't know. I could see. I'll be rooting for Iowa State, I guess, coming out of that one.
I think so. Yeah.
They're like a pseudo Big Ten team to me. So
yeah, exactly. They're close enough. They basically should be.
Yeah, they should. They should almost be. They need to be just brought into the fold here with the Big Ten. But yeah, so I'd like to see them match up with Michigan. But I do think Michigan has a pretty good shot getting to the Final Four here.
I would agree. Yeah, and I just think you mentioned, but I think Michigan plays such a different style of defense as opposed to I think anything Alabama saw in the SEC and anything on their path, to playing Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah.
They beat Texas Tech by 1,000,000, 90-65. So that was, I think, unexpected, pretty crazy.
Mhm.
Like you mentioned, it's just, when are they going to be hot? But Texas Tech was also down a starter, and it was a pretty big defensive piece of their game. And so,
Yep.
yeah, I do think that is something they're missing, and I think Alabama's running into something completely different. So,
Yep. Yeah, I was looking at the odds for the teams too. Like who's the favorite to win? Arizona right now is a plus 330. Michigan right behind them at plus 340. Duke 370 right behind them. So those three
surprised
still.
about Duke, honestly.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I still feel like Arizona and Michigan. The only thing is they're going to match up against each other. But Duke's got
Agreed.
a tough. That's a tough bracket.
They've got a tough road and injuries. Like they don't have the depth they had for the rest of the season, and really they've struggled. I mean, again, like it took them the entire game to get back against Siena and only won by 6. And then what was that other TCU?
Yeah, TCU.
I mean, yes, they ended up winning that game by 23, but for a lot of that, it really wasn't that big of a deficit. They really only pulled away at the end.
Yeah. I think Jerry McNamara says, "What do you mean you need depth? You guys have injuries. They didn't even sub anybody until somebody fouled out with 20 seconds left or whatever."
So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I am surprised Duke's odds are that high. I would honestly think Houston. You got Purdue there plus 1,300.
I was surprised Purdue's plus. Well, but I guess I was surprised UConn maybe was like 20 plus 2,500.
That's I think those are.
But it could be because of the road that they would have to get through.
I mean, same argument with Duke.
Yeah. So they got a little bit tougher road to get through. So Texas at a plus 30,000. So again, that's where I kind of look at Purdue. Like they've got Texas, who's a plus 30,000. Then it's going to be Arizona, who's going to be Arizona or Arkansas.
Right.
But I think they've got a pretty good shot, and they just got to win 2 games, win in advance here. So,
yeah.
I guess looking at, outside of our 2 teams, obviously we're going to be pretty excited. You're going to be excited for Nebraska tomorrow night and Iowa. I'll be focused on the Boilermakers tomorrow night, which I think they play. So Purdue will be
play basically the same time.
Yeah, 6:30.
So yeah, 6. Yeah, Purdue 6:10, Nebraska 6:30.
Yeah, right. So we'll have to have 2 TVs going.
Yep, definitely
on there. But what other game? I guess what's your kind of favorite matchup
game?
You got? Or outside of those, or obviously our 2. What's kind of what are you eyeing there?
I'm looking at Illinois, Houston. I just think you mentioned, like I think those are teams that Illinois with the offense and Houston with the defense are both around top 5. Again, like the efficiency, I don't have it right up in front of me, but I know at times this season they have been. So like when Illinois is on, they're on and they look amazing. They really haven't been tested, I don't think, up to this point in the tournament. But there's something to say for the fact that they have not played a close game yet.
Yeah.
In Houston, I just think the style of basketball they play, very physical, and their defense is just amazing. So that's the game I'm looking at.
Yeah. I'm excited for the Hurley and Izzo matchup, I think, Friday night.
I think
Friday night is going to be a lot of fun. And I think that game, those 2 coaches, see them going at it. I'm pretty excited to watch that one.
Yeah.
Friday night. So, yeah, I mean, like you said, not a lot of Cinderellas here in the Sweet 16.
No,
but, man, there are some great matchups that we're going to see here this weekend. So that should be fun.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Hopefully we're excited, at least one of us next week, one of our teams makes that to the Final
Four.
So
I guess we'll see.
Maybe both.
I don't know. I still don't think it's going to
happen. Yeah, like I said, could be that Cinderella, like could be Indiana in football. Like Nebraska might be that. Hey, you never thought you'd see this team do it, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I'm just hoping this year is kind of a, set the standard for Nebraska. They'll graduate some guys. Hoiberg, Mast. Some of these guys will be gone, but the hope is that some of that core will be back. And so I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
And hopefully, the success once and with Hoiberg sounds like being back for at least one more year draws some players in. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But building off that Nebraska game, then we'll kind of move into our next segment with moving the chains. But I saw that shot from Vanderbilt kind of bounce in, bounce out, and was thinking about what we wanted to do for the show. And I kind of landed on like that was a big what if. Like, what if Vanderbilt makes that shot? Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen this weekend with Nebraska and whether they're going to continue advancing. But what if Vandy does make that shot? And so we decided to go with some of the bigger what if moments of sports. Not like what if this person didn't have the starting job? What like not like the outside stuff, but like the in-game moments. What if this happened? What impact would this have had? What teams could have won that we just missed out on?
Yeah, like those close calls.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost went the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes, that's what we're going to get into here, and I'm pretty excited. I think this will be another great thing to build off of for March Madness.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get it right in. We'll start with football. I think where we like to start. Yeah, what do you got for football? What's a big what if close call?
I do think when we're going through this, I think the NFL and football in general was a little easier to find like these moments where the other sports have like the 7-game series. It's a little harder to find like that one game, that one moment that really stands out. Like college basketball, obviously in this tournament, like it is that one game, and then you win or lose based on that shot. Like Vandy, you're out, and you're not coming back until next year. So the NFL ones, I mean, for me, obviously the Bears, the double doink. Everybody remembers that versus the Eagles in the playoffs. Sadly, that will go down in forever NFL lore. The old double doink. So that was one that was like, oh my gosh! Like I was watching that, I think, across the street at our neighbors, and
that's where I was too.
Yeah,
I know exactly where I was.
Yeah, right in the garage. Well, I was here inside. Okay, and yeah, that happened, and it was like you got it.
And he makes the one right before the timeout too.
Yeah.
And it is such a big what if because the Bears, they're the closest they've been before was 2006 going to a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eagles, who they were playing in that game, the double doink, did go on to win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And it was with backup quarterback Nick Foles.
Yeah,
I don't know. That was a rough one because it was definitely one of those years the Bears could have done it.
Yeah, and was that one of your buddies an Eagles fan?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
That's why we were over there.
That's what I was thinking. We had Eagles fans there and Bears fans, and it was like, oh my gosh, we got to deal with the Eagles fans here too. The old double doink. That was the big one I had, and then I also jotted down the Titans, Tennessee Titans, on the half-yard line. Lost the Super Bowl back in 2000. Yeah, it was 2000 versus the Ram. So that was another one where Kevin Dyson got tackled on the 1-yard line right, and as time was expiring.
Okay.
So again, you talk about like the close calls or like reach the ball out, like you're almost there and didn't make it. And obviously the Rams, one of the greatest show on turf at the time, won that Super Bowl. So that was another one that stood out to me.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you have?
Yeah. So I think the biggest one that stood out to me when I thought about it, as someone who's followed the Seahawks, was that pass on the 1-yard line, where the Seahawks had Marshawn Lynch, who was, arguably the best running back in the NFL at the time, just amazing on the goal line too. Always found a way in. And they threw a pass instead and was picked off by Malcolm Butler. If the Seahawks score a touchdown there was still a little bit of time left, but they're likely going to repeat, back to back, join that short list of people who've gone back to back. And then Tom Brady loses a ring. So, that would mean Tom Brady's only got, 6? What does he have? He has 7 right?
now. Yeah, 6.
Yeah, so he'd only have 6.
Patriots, yeah.
And I think that kind of throws like I don't even know the right way to put it, but like there was kind of a break where Brady didn't win for a while, and then they won a bunch more. And I think that the Seahawks winning that would have broken that up a little bit more, and it wouldn't have been viewed quite as dominantly, I don't think. And maybe there were a little bit more changes if they lose that Super Bowl. So,
yeah, and we talked a little bit, I think, about the Seahawks dynasty potentially that could have been building there too.
It could have, yeah, for sure. If they win 2 in a row and continue,
yeah. So that kind of broke that a little bit, and I guess now they get back and win it this year, but it took a little bit more time to figure all that out, right?
There's not a single player left from that roster.
Yeah.
So
yep, that's a big one.
Yeah, definitely. And as far as what else, I was just kind of looking at some of the other things I had on here. I don't know. I guess there was the Bills missed a field goal barely.
Wide right.
Yep.
Yeah, we talked about. I think I talked about that one. Like that could have changed a lot if they just would have got one of those Super Bowls. Like
Right, exactly.
Just the understanding how to win. Maybe that changes.
Which one was that?
Was it the first? Yeah, it was either the first or second.
Yeah, so like you said, it's like if they win one, do they have the confidence? They keep moving forward, like because it seemed like from what I've heard, those like third and fourth, they just kind of started to crumble. Like the confidence just wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
but that was kind of another thing that popped into mind. Yeah, no, the Russell Wilson interception definitely takes it for me.
Yep.
And the only other one I mentioned to you was the Music City Miracle. If that would have been called a forward pass,
yeah,
that would have been a huge what if.
The other way for the Titans, yeah.
Right? Yeah, then they wouldn't have advanced, and we wouldn't even think of that play at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay. I guess the next one I've got then is the NBA. I'll kind of go back to you.
Okay. So I had 2013 NBA Finals Game 6. That's the one where Ray Allen, he hit the three in the corner. He made it. So this was one where he actually made the shot. But if he would have missed, the Spurs would have gone on and won that title. So that was one where it was like close call that it could have gone the other way. Like had he missed that shot, Spurs win the title. And I think it went to Game 7, and the Spurs ended up losing. So that was the one that kind of stood out to me. Obviously, there's probably a lot more from the college basketball side to pull out here from like March Madness where there's like close calls. I think back to like the Butler shot that they had in the championship from half court. It was almost very similar to what Vandy had.
It was, yeah.
It was like almost the same shot that hit the backboard, hit off the rim. And I remember watching that one thinking, oh my gosh, like if Butler would have won this thing, it would have been crazy. So yeah, the NBA was harder for me to remember some of those again. Kind of just thinking through all the game 6s and 7s. And
yeah, it is. There's just so many more moments. And, I had to do some more kind of research, but then it did start to, kind of started to jog my memory, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Is that all you got, NBA?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll go on to mine. 2016 NBA Finals, Game 7. So this is Warriors, one of those like super teams they had kind of in that era, against Kyrie Irving, LeBron James with the Cavs. So Kyrie Irving hits a three with the game tied at 89 with 53 seconds left. So it was the go-ahead three. They end up winning 89, I think. Obviously there's 53 seconds left. Anything could happen with the rest of that time. But like, if Kyrie doesn't make that 1-3, we don't talk about LeBron James coming back, from down 3-1 in that series. That's another loss on his record. He'd be what, 2 wins? He has 3 right now, right?
Yeah, I think
2.5. So he'd have only 2. Like, I just think, as far as LeBron James and kind of his legacy, I think that winning that finals does a lot for the conversations people have and coming back from down 3-1. And so Kyrie hitting that shot is huge. And so, what if he doesn't make that? What if, because of that, they end up losing that game to the Warriors? So that's a huge one that stands out to me. And again, like I said, kind of going back, that was one I a little bit more remembered. So I figured I'd talk about that one.
Yep.
Yeah, other kind of ones you can mention. The shot Kawhi had that kind of bounces in and out of the rim, 2019 Eastern Semifinals Game 7. That's when you kind of see replays of, again, big what if. You don't know if they go on to win a championship, or who knows what happens. So that's another one I hear people talk about. And then, yeah, I think you had a great one there as well. So, yeah, anything else to add with the NBA?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think of more that, I guess when I think of NBA, I don't think of the missed shots as much as I do like the made shots.
Yeah, definitely.
The crazy endings are the good, the Jordan hitting his, obviously the ending for his 6th championship. The shot he hit over Craig Elo in the Eastern Conference Finals, I believe it was, against the Cavaliers. I guess I think more of those like, what if they didn't make some of these shots?
Right, yep.
Versus what if, and even like Reggie Miller, like, gosh, what was it, 8 points in like under 20 or 30 seconds that he ended up having against the Knicks. and he put the little choke thing up, like 2 threes and another layup or whatever.
Yeah.
Like those are the ones I guess I think more about. It's hard to think back on like the missed shots that could have resulted in something in the NBA.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe the listeners will have some other things to add there.
Yeah. Maybe. Who knows? Okay, let's go to the MLB. And I think progressively as we go down, like, yes, baseball and hockey are ones we watch a little less. But again, I think that there is something about the fact that it is all series and it's not just one game. There's less like you can't always point to one moment. So it is a little bit more hard. But what did you have here?
Well, the one moment that stood out to me that I think about, like, what if this could have happened, was 2003 Cubs Game 6, the NLCS. So it wasn't a World Series; it was the National League Championship. And Moises Alou goes over to catch a foul pop fly. Steve Bartman reached out and knocked it away, and that guy will go down in infamy with Cubs fans everywhere. Obviously, winning the World Series in 2016 helped with that, but more than likely, had Alou caught that, the Cubs would have gone on to that World Series in 2003, and I would have had a lot more fun there in college if
yeah, probably.
Yeah, because the White Sox ended up winning a few years later, and I had a lot of White Sox fans that were kind of giving us crap about the Cubs. That would have been a lot more fun on my end had the Cubs pulled that one out. But yeah, Bartman, I mean, obviously that name's going to, like I said, live in infamy for Cubs fans for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But that's like another what could have been had that not happened.
Right. So one that comes to mind that I guess it's not so much of a what if, but again, it was one that I remembered more. I didn't want to just go off of, kind of what I was finding online. Game 5 of the 2024 World Series, Aaron Judge drops a, normal looking pop fly in center field. And then the Yankees kind of collapse. This is only error of the entire season, but the Dodgers ended up being able to come back from down 5-0 and win 7-6 to win the World Series 4-1. So that's a huge one, I think. Just for one, right, if Aaron Judge catches that fly, kind of stops this comeback from the Dodgers, you win that game, it's a 2-3 series, right?
Yeah.
Losing 4-1, even being down 3-1 coming in is a lot different than 3-2, right?
Yeah.
Like, close, you got another game. I don't know where the next game was going to be, actually. I should have looked at that. Yeah. So in that moment, in that series, obviously, yeah, maybe the Dodgers don't win. But then also, again, same thing where, if the Dodgers don't win that one, I'm not going to say they don't go out and spend the money that they have. What if they do lose that one? The storyline really does start to become, hey, the Dodgers choke it away every time. They can't win. And I think there's a lot more pressure on them then to win a championship coming into the next season, which, obviously they were able to do, but like it was close, right? Like the Blue Jays really took them down to the wire there. There were some great moments in that World Series. So if they don't have, like we kind of talked about earlier already, like if they don't have this like feeling of what it is to win, are they able to win and kind of stick it out with the Blue Jays the next season? What does the storyline become? So I think that is an interesting one to think about.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
The other one I was thinking about was way back in the 80s, the mid 80s, but the Bill Buckner play. And so for the Red Sox, the Red Sox hadn't won in a long, long time, playing the Mets, 10th inning, and there's a slow grounder hit by Mookie Wilson, went right through the legs of Bill Buckner, who was a first baseman for the Red Sox. And Red Sox fans, man, will live that one. It's kind of like the Bartman type play where Bill Buckner's name goes down in kind of infamy for a long time, because that ended up, the Mets won that game and ended up winning Game 7 to take the World Series. And again, what could have been, right? The Red Sox fans were dying for something to finally win. I think they ended up winning in 06 eventually, but yeah, Bill Buckner's another one where the name goes down in infamy with that one play.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and then finally going down to hockey. I think this was...
We love hockey.
Probably the hardest one. Again, like I'll watch the Stanley Cup regular season if there's a game on, sometimes the Blackhawks. it is so much harder. I think it's harder to find that one moment.
There's a lot of shots that go off the post. I was thinking about like even just this Olympics with Canada and the number of shots that they missed. We talked about the goalie play on the U.S. side, the saves that were made, but there were a lot of open net misses that Canada had. Also.
Yeah, so we were talking about this one, and it was, if we're just talking about the Olympic game, like Nathan McKinnon missing a wide open net. Like, what if he makes that shot?
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like,
that's it.
Obviously, like, we're still very soon after the fact, but like, who knows what impact this has on the United States, on Canada. Like, I'm sure this gets kids excited in the United States about hockey, wanting to play more, having more pride in that. Like, I think this sets a little bit more in motion and really establishes the United States beating Canada, like that biggest sport they care about.
Yeah.
And so, like, I do think that that's huge. And I think that, 20, 30 years down the line, we'll look back on that, and that will be a big moment to point to.
Yeah. I mean, that was the big one that stood out to me. I'm sure there are some that you can go back to and look at, and shots off the post or foot in the crease, things like that, like the goal was taken away because somebody's foot's in the crease,
right,
or whatever. I'm not going to pretend to know or remember any of those things. And so, since we just saw this one in the Olympics, refreshing the mind.
And there was one off the post too.
Yes.
I don't remember who hit that shot, but you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Very close.
Yeah.
So same thing, and I do think hockey is even more so maybe than any of these other sports, like such a game of inches. Where like there are so many what ifs in like every game. Where like, what if this doesn't go off the post? What if the goalie isn't just right in the right spot, and the shot goes in? Like, I just think there is a lot more.
Yeah.
There's so much more to point to.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, I think that kind of wraps up our what ifs. So I guess, let us know, what other moments you can think of. I'm sure that there's some that we missed that we'll look on later and be like, oh shoot, that would have been a good one to bring up.
Come on, hockey fans.
Yeah,
let
exactly.
us know.
All right, we'll go to 2 minutes in the box then. Who are you putting in the box this week?
All right, I'm going to put. I want to get his name right. So it was Virginia, Dallin Hall from Virginia. So the end of the game, Virginia, Tennessee, there was a play, I don't know, 27 seconds or 20 seconds left, something like that. That Tennessee guy was going out of bounds and tried to throw the ball back in bounds, hit off one of his players. Looked like it may have hit off one of the Virginia players. Also went to replay. They ended up giving the ball to Tennessee. To Tennessee. But the guy from Virginia afterwards even admitted, like, yeah, I touched the ball and it went out of bounds off of me. I'm putting him in the box because I feel like if you get, like, after a game, there's no reason for you to admit that, like, you touched the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, why? I don't know. There's enough with replay that drives me crazy anyways. That I could put that in the box again, but I feel like I could put that in the box like every week. But this guy from Virginia, there's no reason for you to like put your hand up and say,
no,
yeah, the ball hit off on me.
There's no reason
after the game. So anyways, I'm going to put that guy in the box.
Yeah, I agree.
You lost the game, man. You're done. Your season's over. No reason to put your hand up and say that.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, you're a college coach. You got to know what to say to the press. And, like, that's not it. So,
college basketball player. It wasn't the coach.
Player. Oops.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just got to know what to say.
Yeah.
That's not it for sure.
Yeah. You need some media training.
Yeah, definitely. All right. This week, I'm putting the NBPA in the box. So the National Basketball Players Association. So that union group of players that's got the agreement with the NBA. So they're pushing for a change to the 65-game rule, which is the rule we talked about where players have to play minimum 65 games to be eligible for certain postseason awards, all NBA, all these things, right? And we've talked about how we kind of think that's probably a good thing.
That's good.
It pushes people to actually play instead of just, taking these rest days that I think we're seeing more and more of. And it, makes the games more exciting if everybody's playing all the time. So this is kind of coming on the heels of Cade Cunningham. So he's played 61 games right now and was kind of like one of the favorites to win MVP, and then just suffered a collapsed lung. So obviously not great for him. especially when up to this point he has played not all of the games. To only be at 61 right now, obviously he's missed quite a few, but a decent number, and he was on track to get there until he suffered this collapsed lung, and so he's probably not going to get to 65. Pistons are saying they're hoping he's back for the beginning of the playoffs, but it's sounding like he's not going to get 4 more games in before that.
Yep.
And I don't think they're in any hurry to rush him back either, right? So the NBPA is now pushing back, saying, hey, we need to amend to this 65-game rule, which to me, first of all, your whole existence as the union is a collective bargaining with the NBA where you agreed to this rule. You agreed to 65 games, and you said that that was fine. So for one, like, that's the number you agreed to, and I don't know how you're going to argue with it now that there's a problem with it.
Yeah.
And for two, again, like, obviously, yes, it sucks for Cade Cunningham. But again, we've talked about, like, we want to see players playing. And I think of the NFL, we're like, okay, so 65 out of what do they play? 83?
82 games.
82 games. So what's 65 divided by 82? Like, what percentage of games is that? So 80% of games, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be like in the NFL, missing what? 3?
They play 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're missing about 3-4 games. And again, like
big 3, yeah.
I think that's an easy thing to point to, but like, I don't think someone missing 3 games is winning an MVP.
I don't think so either.
Right. Like, you missed those 3 games. That's like you're 3 games behind and all the stats and everything people talk about. Like, you're not going to win MVP. So I really don't get what the difference is.
So they want to go lower than that, though, right? Isn't that what they're?
Yeah, they want the minimum to be lower.
Yeah, so they want to go even lower than 80%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, like, any other league, or at least the NFL, which I think is a good reference point for people, like, you just aren't going to win MVP playing less than 80% of games, because that's just how the voting works. And I get, like, somehow that's just not the expectation for the NBA. But moving in a direction where that becomes the expectation and there's a rule in place to help that, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. We talked about this being one of those crazy rules previously.
Right.
I just looked up Michael Jordan. So 15 years in the NBA, he averaged 71.5 regular season games per year. But also in his, like, early in his career, he played in all 82 games 9 times.
Which is ridiculous.
And
nobody does that anymore.
Yeah, and played 80 plus games 11 times. So part of that was those 9 that he did. So 80 plus games 11 times.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, yeah, somebody wants to talk about the durability of LeBron James and why he's still in the league. Well, probably because he's not averaging that many games every year. So I don't understand why they want to lower this down.
I mean, I do understand why. I just don't agree.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
I guess I don't agree with it. I don't know that I can see their point from my end.
Right.
Just play the games.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to skip over 2-minute drill this week just because we figured we'd spend more time on March Madness, and we did, which we were right. So we'll kind of go on from that. As far as from the stands, I think you did have something written down here.
Oh, yeah, I got this from Johnny. Well, actually, before I give Johnny another shout out, somebody did comment about having more of the March Madness.
Yeah, I just don't remember who that was. But yes,
maybe look that up.
More March Madness.
Yes, more March Madness, which is great. I love to see the comments coming in from people on some of the reels that we've got out there. So keep those coming. And yes, we've got more March Madness in this podcast. So we'll put some more clips out there also for everybody to take in. The one thing I got from John, this is kind of funny. So Cal Raleigh, his nickname for the Mariners, right?
Yep, Big Dumper.
The Big Dumper. So the Mariners just announced the Big Dumper Sundae that they'll have this year. It will be on the menu, which is a mini toilet bowl filled with soft serve chocolate ice cream and fresh hot fudge. That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
His nickname and made a little ice cream toilet bowl with it. That's almost like the little, like the helmet things, but it's a toilet bowl with
it's
like
more
the
fun.
Mariners
They're
thing.
going to sell a ton of those.
Oh, yeah. I'd buy one for sure. So how fun is that? The Big Dumper. So thanks for sending that in, Jeff. That was a good one.
That was Sam Aubrey with more March Madness content.
There you go.
So shout out him.
Sam.
More March Madness.
We got more in here today.
More in here today. So listen to the episode.
Yep.
All right, and then on to extra innings to kind of wrap us up here and hit the things we missed. So what do you got for extra innings?
Just a couple things. Joe Flacco going on to the Bengals. So sign with the Bengals. I think it was just like a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
and he's 41 years old, so fine. Bring him in for one more year.
Playing at all.
It is crazy, but good backup to Burrow
amazing.
seems to get hurt a lot, and if you need a backup, Joe Flacco is the man. So
yeah, and I mean, it seemed like he did great in that system last year. They didn't win every game, but he seemed capable, and he's somebody who understands the game pretty well. I've played so long. So.
Yep. So that was good, and then Pete Crow Armstrong, PCA for the Cubs.
I'm excited.
Yeah, signed a 6-year deal, $115 million.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be staying with the Cubs, which is good. Because he might have got swooped up by the Dodgers or one of these other teams.
Right. Well, and that 6-year deal doesn't even start till 2027, so he's under contract through 2033. Yeah. So he's going to be there like forever.
Which is great. Yeah,
which is awesome. Because like I said, I was afraid that he was going to go a couple years and then end up on the Dodgers. So real happy he ends up signing that extension, and happy it happened now, because like they could have waited another 2 years, and obviously the market's going to go up. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
And been in more danger of not re-signing him. I think it's a guy where right now you need to bring him back. Yep. So I'm really excited. He's such a fun player. I love to watch him. So
agreed. Yeah, I'm excited.
He's going to be there for a long time.
And opening day tomorrow.
Yeah, that's why I've got my little Cubs jersey on. So opening day tomorrow. They played the Nationals in Wrigley. So that's exciting. First game was tonight, actually. The Yankees were playing some Yankees opening day.
Giants 7-0 Yankees right now. So
they were playing on Netflix. That's what I was like. It was something weird about this game. Yep. Streaming on Netflix. Yeah. You said 7-0.
7-0. Top of the ninth. Looks like it's about over here. So
yeah, so baseball starting. I'll watch that in about 4 months.
Yeah, I was going to say, talk to me in September.
Yeah, exactly. Over the summer. Like I said, the Cubs should be an exciting team this year. So we'll see. Bringing in Cabrera, Bregman, and then maintaining most guys. Most. But yeah, having PCA back is a great feeling. The Cubs actually should be pretty exciting. So that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then for my extra innings, actually, I had the NBA expansion, which was voted on earlier today by all the, I think it's the owners that vote on that. But basically, they're officially, opening up the market for expansion teams in Seattle and Vegas, which people have kind of known for a while that was going to happen. But starting to put those up, they're expected to go for around $7 to $10 billion, which is crazy. But I was kind of reading up on the ESPN article earlier. It was actually really interesting. So, as far as Vegas, who knows what that team is going to be called, but Seattle, when the Thunder moved out, early 2000s, there was a whole lawsuit-ish thing with because of the lease on their dome. I forget what it's called. They're in Seattle. So there was a whole suit with the city of Seattle, and the agreement was basically that any franchise that came in the future would be called the Supersonics. So the new team in Seattle will be the Supersonics. They'll have all the same logos, the jerseys, everything's going to be the same.
They're going to keep the same.
Yeah, I guess they might
that'd be kind of cool,
modernize it. I wouldn't be surprised. But they own all the trademarks, all the licensing, all that's going to belong to that franchise. So that's really exciting. Honestly, I think that's going to be really cool. It's interesting too because the records actually are weird. So the NBA, the way they keep track of it, combines the two franchises. So it's franchise record goes back, with Thunder goes back to Seattle, but the Thunder themselves aren't allowed to claim any of that. So the Thunder, in their facility, their records are only from 2000 whatever on when they moved to Oklahoma City and became the Thunder, and same thing with their championship banners and everything.
Okay.
So when the Supersonics are back, their old history will be linked. I actually don't know how that's working, but they'll pick up some of the history. So they'll get the championships. So it is interesting. There's actually a lot to kind of learn there. It'll be interesting to see how kind of those little details work out. But yeah, the Supersonics are back. And there will be an expansion draft at some point.
Yeah,
Probably
that'll be
around
fun, too.
27, 28.
Mhm.
And so the last time, teams were allowed to protect up to 8 players. But if they had less than 8, they had to have at least one unprotected that could be drafted. And then what will happen is these two franchises will basically they'll flip a coin. Whoever wins has the choice to either pick first or defer. And whoever wins, if you defer, then you're going to have the higher pick in the NBA draft. And then they'll go back and forth just selecting, players, those unprotected players from the teams.
Yeah.
Building rosters until they feel like they're done. They don't have to select all, up to 15 each if they don't want to. But yeah, so that honestly, I think that's the most exciting part. Just that's a few years out, but like just watching these teams build rosters, I think would be really fun.
I'm excited to see the Supersonics back.
I am too. Yeah, no, it's the whole thing's
That'll
honestly
be kinda
pretty
fun.
exciting. Yeah,
See Sean Kemp and Gary Payton highlights again, and
yeah, and actually, last thing, these teams are both going to end up in the West.
Mhm.
Somebody's going to get bumped to the East, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I wonder if it's going to be one of the Texas teams.
I don't know.
Dallas and Houston
I
maybe
think
go
the
to
Grizzlies are in the West right now or something.
Oh yeah.
So that's a team they've talked
Actually,
about.
yeah. So that'll be further. That's what I was trying to think of. Like, who's the most Eastern Western Conference
Timberwolves, or maybe it was the Timberwolves. There's one of those
Timberwolves and Grizz maybe.
Yeah,
move over.
but they'll only have to do one. So like right now it's 15-15. It'll be 17-15 once they.
Oh yeah, so they can just bump one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's another one where they will both be in the West.
The Timberwolves would make sense. Maybe.
Yeah.
They seem like an.
I don't actually know if this was right. I said that. I think the Timberwolves are actually in the West.
That makes more sense. That they'd move over.
Yeah.
Does Vegas have a team name yet? Probably not. Right?
No. Yeah, like I said, they just this was approved today, so now they gotta sell these franchises basically, and then there'll be a name. But yeah,
Vegas. I don't know what name.
So that'll be interesting too, watching what the name is.
The High Rollers, the Vegas Spheres.
Yeah,
I
guess
don't know.
so.
What we got to come up with some.
I don't know. But yeah, no, it'll be that kind of this whole process. I think will be kind of exciting to watch.
Yeah,
watch the franchise start up.
It's cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, then looking at our scoreboard, I feel like there wasn't a whole lot to agree or disagree on today, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's on a sheet.
Well, we can look at our brackets, I guess, in our pool that we.
That's true. Actually, good point. Right before we wrap up.
So, what is our?
My best bracket's actually not. Oh, yeah. So the one with our
in our group.
Yep.
First and 4 group.
What do we got? There's not really brackets in there.
No, but I'm leading, so that's all that really matters right now.
Yep.
So 480
what
points.
What am I in? 4th?
You're 4th, man.
Nice.
30%.
I've got a bracket.
That's
there.
terrible.
The second one I filled out where I had Houston winning, just like I do in there. Picked some games different, 90%, 490 points, and I didn't enter it anywhere. So that was great that I built that one and then just didn't do anything with it.
You went way too many upsets.
I did. I made this first one where I had Houston winning, and it was like, all right, this is good. And then I went and tried to overthink it with the one I actually entered.
Yeah.
And that's not going so well for me. So my best bracket's not actually entered anywhere in second.
Yeah.
Because it's actually pretty good. And my Final Four is still intact because I didn't really have Florida going that far. Like I said, Houston winning it all. I still feel really good about it. It's not out there anymore.
If you fill out that many brackets, you're going to have one that's going to land, right?
I really didn't do that many. I did the one in there. I did this one that's good. I did one with Nebraska winning.
Yep.
That was about it. I think I had the one of those AI generated ones. I just want to see how it would do.
Yeah, those ones are kind of ridiculous.
They are ridiculous. I just want to make one just to watch it and see if I could do better.
Yeah.
Which right now, that one that's not entered is doing better, so I feel good about that.
Yeah.
I do better than the computer. So that feels good. We're still, it hasn't taken over yet, right?
Not yet.
Yeah. Not yet. All right. I think that's about it then. I think we're going to wrap it up there.
Sounds good.
That's going to do it for this drive on First and 4. If you like today's conversation, make sure to follow, rate, and share the show. We'll be back next week breaking down the biggest stories and our generational opinions from the 4 major sports. Until then, we'll see you for the next play.
Peace out, guys.